Hi, this is Dr. Michael Bogart with the 5-Minute Guides to the Bible. The Bible's an ancient book, actually a set of books, that's honored by Jews and Christians as sacred scripture. In future sessions, we're going to be looking into some of the information about this in more depth, but the earliest portions of the Bible, like the book of Genesis, date from 3,500 years ago. These earliest portions describe human society at the very dawn of civilization. In fact, they take us back to the cradle of civilization in the Middle East, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Canaan. In other words, the Bible takes us back to our common human roots. It explores not only where we came from, but why we are the way we are as human beings. The Bible explains why we're capable of amazing and stunning achievements, and at the same time, why we can fall into such depths of degradation, oppression, and suffering. And that's why in the 21st century, the Bible remains as relevant to human life in all cultures around the world as it was 200 years ago or even 3,000 years ago. So let's begin with the basics. The Bible is divided into two main sections. Actually, it's more correct to say that the Christian Bible is divided into two sections, the Old Testament and the New Testament. Okay, Old Testament first. Jews and Christians share the books of the Old Testament, which is what Christians call it. Jews don't call it Old Testament, they simply call it the Scriptures or the Hebrew Bible or the Tanakh. Christians call it the Old Testament not out of disrespect, but simply because they believe it's been fulfilled, explained, and enhanced by newer books called the New Testament. I'll use the term Old Testament because it's familiar to more people. The Old Testament mainly focuses on God's dealings with the people of Israel in ancient times. It contains several dozen books which can be divided into four subsections: law, history, books of poetry and wisdom, and prophets. Protestants accept 39 books in the Old Testament. Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox Christians add a few more. And Jews have a collection of 35, which actually includes the same material as the Protestant collection of 39. How's that possible? Well, Protestants simply thought some of the Hebrew books of the Jewish collection were just too long, so they divided them into two: 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, etc. The original languages of the Old Testament were Hebrew and Aramaic. So if you want to study them in their original languages, you're going to have to learn those ancient Hebrew and Aramaic tongues. However, not to worry, we have some really excellent translations in modern languages that can be more easily read. Now the New Testament. The New Testament's accepted by Christians, but not by Jews. These books focus on God's redemption of the entire world through Jesus Christ, the Messiah of Israel. The New Testament contains 27 books, which are accepted by all branches of historic Christianity. The books are also divided into four subsections: Gospels, the book of Acts, the letters, and the book of Revelation. The original language of the New Testament was Koine, or Common Greek, that was widely used in the first century. So the Bible is shared by Jews and Christians, at least the first part of it is. It's very ancient, dating back as much as 3,000 years ago. It's divided by Christians into Old and New Testaments, though Jews call the Old Testament section the Hebrew Scriptures. The original languages of the Bible were Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. And because it deals with human origins and the most profound issues that we face, the Bible transcends cultures and remains relevant down to our own times. So we'll see you in our next session. This is Dr. Michael Bogart for the 5-Minute Guides to the Bible.